Welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic. Tulsi Gabbard has officially been confirmed as the Director of National Intelligence. Here's a clip.
Mr. President, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for the trust that you have placed in me to fulfill this critical position as Director of National Intelligence at any time, but specifically during this time. Unfortunately, the American people have very little trust in the intelligence community, largely because they've seen the weaponization and politicization of an entity that is supposed to be purely focused on ensuring our national security. So I look forward to being able to help fulfill that mandate that the American people delivered to you very clearly in this election, to refocus our intelligence community by empowering the great patriots who have chosen to serve our country in this way and focus on ensuring the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. As you've said, Mr. President, this is what I've dedicated my life to, and it is truly humbling to be in this position, to serve in your administration, help to rebuild that trust, and ultimately to keep the American people safe. Last thing I'll mention, that in your National Prayer Breakfast speech, you made a statement about your legacy of wanting to be remembered as a peacemaker. I know that I can speak for many of my fellow service members who are here today, veterans, Medal of Honor recipients, how deeply that resonates with us. For those who volunteer to put their lives on the line when duty calls, but to have a President and Commander-in-Chief who recognizes the cost of that sacrifice and ensuring that war is the last resort, not the first. So thank you for your leadership.
How great is that? She's just such a great American. You could tell she just loves America and wants the best for America. She used to be a Democrat, but then she converted to Republican when the Democratic Party abandoned her, like most Democrats this election cycle. But you just have to love to see Trump's super team taking shape. Now all we need is RFK Jr. and Kash Patel there at the FBI, and then Trump's plan of making America great and just completely, revamping the government can just go forward full throttle. And it's just such a great feeling knowing that Trump's got these people. Trump put the people he said he was going to put in place. So once again, he's just doing everything he said, which is to his credit. You have to give him the credit that he's doing what he said he would do. But you just got to love to see that these people he's putting in aren't getting completely faked. And, they're trying to fake them. They're certainly trying to fake RFK. But yeah, it seems like they're all going to get in there, and wow, just can't wait to see what happens next, right? But all right, next topic. Representative Robert Garcia of California, Democrat representative. Let me know if you think he's threatening Elon and DOGE here. Take a look at the clip.
I want to hear why, but do you think that calling Elon Musk a dick is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government?
Well, he is a dick. And I think that he's also harming the American public in an enormous way. And what I think is really important, and what the American public want, is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future of this country. And it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene talks about having decorum, about bipartisanship. This is the person that lies more than anybody else in the entire Congress. And so if she is going to make a mockery of hearings, I want to make sure that us as Democrats are bringing that same level of energy. And of course, after those comments, we went into exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do: dismantling the Department of Labor, dismantling the Department of Education, dismantling all of our consumer protection agencies. And so it's all important, but it's also important to get the attention of the American public and call Elon Musk out for what he is, and to make people know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a serious legislator and she shouldn't be treated as such.
To me, that's a call for violence. I would assume that most people, that's a threat on somebody's life and a call for violence. But hey, it's just such a double standard. This guy can go out there and, tell people to bring weapons to the bar fight that we're having against Elon. And Trump says bloodbath and it's the end of the world. Nothing happens to this guy. Bloodbath, end of the world. It's just sickening that the double standard of the media these days, and this guy needs to resign. I think this guy needs to resign. Let me know in the comments if you think this guy should resign. But I think it's really the only option at this point. But all right, next topic. Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, completely owned the media when discussing the Gulf of America. Here's a clip.
I don't think for you. Which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server. And Apple has recognized that. Google has recognized that. Pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America. And it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world. Sure.
Oh, you just gotta love how classic that is. You know, I don't get why the mainstream media tries to own this woman. The Biden press secretary, you know, the Karine Jean-Pierre, the black lesbian woman who was put in there just because she was a black lesbian. Yeah, she couldn't handle any of this stuff. And it was just terrible watching her just get hit with the real question and then just basically walk out the door. That was her tactic. If she faces a real question, walks right out the door. But yeah, this Trump woman, man, she just knows how to handle these people and just owns them. And that's what you need, right? When you're Trump, that's exactly what you want, is a woman who's not afraid of any sort of question, is well prepared to answer any question, is not going to back down. And that's it, folks. As you can see from my picture up here, the Gulf of America is it now. That's what it is. Apple's done it. Google Maps has done it. I mean, what more do you want, folks? What more do you want? Frankly, the Gulf of America might get a lot more tourists this year now that people just want to go down there and see the Gulf of America. Hell, I'd go there. But all right, next topic. The word manufacturing is now a sexist term, apparently. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Yesterday, I met with a manufacturing company, but they also are engaged in getting young people more engaged in manufacturing. So I asked them, so how many of those students that are signing up and want to do this, how many are women? And they said, well, I know there's at least 13% or something. It was a low number. And you had mentioned trying to engage more women in manufacturing. I'm just wondering if just the name manufacturing sounds like a guy.
Man, that is... What is that woman thinking? Manufacturing sounds like a man, so women just don't know to go into manufacturing. You see, the thing is that manufacturing is just, it's a job that not many women really probably want to do, or it's not really on their radar. And see, it's the responsibility of women like that woman in that video claiming how sexist basically the word is, to get the word out to women and say, yeah, you guys could go, you women could go into manufacturing jobs as well. It's not like it's an anti-woman environment, or who knows, maybe, since it's so highly male apparently to this woman, but I doubt it, right? But yeah, the liberals are just always looking for a way to make somebody the victim. And in this case, women apparently are too dumb to understand that the word manufacturing is just applies to a thing rather than a sex. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to subscribe. See you next time. Later.